Hello everyone, my name is El Wellington, and this video I want to look at how to create a paperback and hardcover version of your book. If you want to create only Kindle version for your book, these rules that I'm about to give do not apply. But if you want to use your Kindle design, the design for your Kindle cover to create your paperback and hardcover, then these rules apply. First things first, your text must be away from the margins. Now, these are the margins. For those of us who do not know how to turn on the margin, these dotted lines, these are your margins. So for those of us who do not know how to turn this on, click on the three dots on top, click on view settings, then click on margins. If it is checked, just as you see here, then yes, your margins will be showing. But if it is unchecked, like this, you see my margins are no longer showing. So I need those margins to be able to guide me. Remember, view settings, show margins. Now, once they are here, be sure that any text you have are not touching that margin. You can put it close to the margin, but for me, I prefer that they don't touch that margin. Because why? When you want to create hardcover, if they touch this margin, it's going to give you problems, so you don't want that to happen. Now, this is my author name, and as you can see, it is also away from the margin. Very simple. Now, to create a paperback and hardcover, you need the front and the back cover. For me, I prefer to use the same background of the front cover as the cover of the for the back also. So here I already have my back cover without the text. I'm going to add the text in the paperback. So now I'm going to download these two. The size of my Kindle manuscript is 5.5 by 8.5. So therefore, I designed the Kindle cover with also the same size. That is what you need. So we go over to download this as JPEG. The quality should be at 100%. Then the pages I need are the page 1 and the page 2, which are the front and the back cover. Done. Then I download. Alright, so my covers have downloaded. Immediately they've downloaded, the next thing to do, I'm assuming that my book has 100 pages. So the next thing to do is to go to Chrome, open a new tab, and just search for KDP cover size calculator. KDP cover size calculator. That's simple. You search for it on Google. First option that comes that gives you this KDP cover calculator from Amazon KDP. You open it. When you open it, we want to create the paperback. So we choose the paperback. We want to create the paperback first. The interior type for my book is black and white. If yours has colored, then choose colored, either premium or standard. The difference between premium and standard is that premium is clearer. That is just the difference, and it's also more expensive. So it's your choice. Paper type, I'm using a white paper. Page turn direction, our normal page turn direction is left to right. Measuring units, which is the size of my cover, the unit I use for it is in inches. If you use millimeter, then you use millimeter, but mine is in inches. The interior trim size, which I talked to us, is 5.5 by 8.5. And then, as I said, the number of pages is 100 pages. We calculate the dimensions. When we calculate these dimensions, these are the things we are going to use. This is going to be the size for the width, the size of the width for our paperback cover, and this is going to be the size of the height. So 11.475 by 8.75 is what we're going to use on Canva to create our paperback. However, before that, let's download these templates. So we download, it's downloaded. Then for me, I like to copy this width because I don't want to stress myself. So I like to copy this, and I already know that this is 8.75. It's easier for me to remember, so I'm not going to copy that. Hence, I move over to my file manager and I go to look for the template that I just downloaded so that I can uncompress it. So it's in downloads, and then I have my paperback here. So I'll uncompress, and then I come. This is it. This is the recent one. So this is what I'm going to be using. The image version or the JPEG version is what I'm going to be using. This one is the paperback, is the PDF version. I don't need that version, so I need the image version to use on my Canva. Pay attention, please. So I move over to Canva, then I'll create a new design. on Canva for my paperback. So plus custom size. Remember it's in inches, so change this to inches. Then I paste the width that I copied. The height, as I said, I already know, so 8.75. It's easier for me to remember that way. Now, this is not going to be the size for all the covers you are going to be calculating, but this is my own size. So if your pages, if the number of pages that your book has is 97 pages, you go and calculate yours. If it is 90, you go and calculate. If it's 200, you go and calculate. Mine is that size because I use 5.5 by 8.5 and the number of my pages is 100. So if your work is 8.5 by 11, you also go and calculate the same way and use 8.5 by 11 and then add the number of pages. It's that simple. So now my document has been created. This is the size I'm going to be using to create the paperback version of my book. So first things first, I will import that cover template that I just uncompressed. So I'll upload files. I'll go to my phone. How do I access this? All right, so I'll go and import that template that I just downloaded. Go to my phone, go to my download, just as we saw before. Go into the paperback, the folder that has been uncompressed, then import my PNG. So once my PNG loads, let's wait for it to upload here. So my PNG has uploaded, and the next thing I do is just tap on it and bring it in. Then I zoom in. To zoom in, just pinch and then drag both fingers away. So pinch and then pull both fingers apart. I bring it to these edges. Once they snap, I zoom out, then zoom into this end and drag this down and then leave it once it snaps. Now that it has snapped to both all edges, I will import my front and back cover which I just downloaded. And here they are, the front and the back. So I will import them. Now, here is a problem that most of us have been facing. Here is one problem that most of us have been facing. Go to gallery, go to Telegram, and then come here. This has been the most sent email and being complained in the group. So they said resize the background or image on your front cover so that it extends 0.125 inches beyond the trim line or 3.2 millimeter beyond the trim line. The trim line is simply your edges on this Canva. So if you want to see your trim line, you go to view settings the same way we did, and you can see print bleed. So these edges, these dotted lines that you are seeing, those are your trim lines. These second dotted lines, remember these ones are your margins. This is your margin, but these ones on the farther edge are your trim lines. So I want to remove that because I don't want to confuse us. So remove print bleed. When you want to add your front cover, this is how you simply do it. You zoom in, tap on your front cover, bring it to the middle. Once it has come to the middle, you take it and also let it snap to the top. So once you bring it to the middle and you see this line, this purple dotted line in the middle, and then you also move it up and you see the purple line also on top, you zoom out and then you zoom to this end. Then you keep dragging this edge until it goes beyond the bottom and beyond the right side. Remember, when it gets to the end, you don't stop. You will continue dragging till it goes beyond the edges on bottom and also on the right. So when it snaps to the right, you still don't stop. You keep on dragging. Just a little. You just need something little. And now you are good to go. So once you've done that, you zoom out. Then you slide over to position. You've still selected that front cover. Slide over to position, you click on align, then you click on middle. You align it to the middle. The essence of this is so that there will be spaces on all sides. So if you look down here, you see that there's a space here. You see that there's a space. And if you also look up here, if you also come here, you also see that there is a space here going beyond the top side. And then if you also zoom out again and come to the right, you also see that there is a space. If you look very well, let me increase my lightning. If you look very well, you see that there is also a space here. on these edges. So because of, to avoid that email, this same email where they said resize the background or image, and also resize the background, if you see the part you said on your back cover, so front and back has to be done the same way. So coming to Canva, we've already done the front, we zoom out. You can lock this if you don't, because you don't have anything to do there. That is your front cover and it's good. You get, and you are very sure that, as you can see, the tests are still within the margins. That was why I said let it be very far away in your margins when you are creating the Kindle, so it doesn't give you issues when you're making the paperback and the hardcover. So you can see this text that was very far away from the margins in the Kindle version is now touching the margins here. If it touches the margins like this, there is no problem. There's no problem with that. But if it goes way beyond the margins, then it's not good. You have to fix it. For example, as Wellington is close to the margin here, there is no problem. But let's say it just goes this way, then no, they will send it back and tell you that you should. They will send you back and give you this email. They will send you this email. So they'll say, make sure all text on your front cover is at least 0.375 inches from the cover's edge, or 9.6 millimeter from the cover's edge. The cover's edge are these endings. This is the cover edge. However, I use the margin to calculate mine. So that is why I make sure that my tests stay within the margin. So if it is like this, sorry, if it is like this in the middle, then it's not a problem. After you have used align to middle, then you are good. No problem with that. So as I said, I'm going to log this so it doesn't keep messing up my design. So you come to the front back cover now. I'm taking my time to explain this because there is no way you will follow this and Amazon will send your book cover back for templates or whatever it is. They won't send it back. So just calm down and follow it. And then for the back cover, you also do the same thing. You bring it to the top and then you bring it to this side. However, you move it just a bit to move away beyond the edges. So you can see that there's a space here, just like this. Then you zoom out. You also come here and you do the same thing where you keep on dragging until it goes beyond the bottom and a little bit into the middle this time. And then you zoom out. You do the same thing, position, align, center. And I want to flip this. For me, I want to flip this cover. You might not want to do that. That has to do with design. So this is not a rule. I'm flipping it so that the guy in the middle can also be on the edges of the book when it's being opened. So that is why I'm flipping. This is a personal decision. It doesn't have to do with the book cover design. So once this is done like this, I am good to go. And then I bring in my text. So we go to docs. I already have my back cover description I want to use. I'll just copy this. I'll copy this, bring it to the back cover, and then I'll impute a text, add a little body of text, paste it, and then adjust. Now I have to make sure that my text is also within the margin in the back cover to avoid them sending me, oh, your text is too close to the edge or whatever. So I'll bring in my shape that I want to use. Transparency. You can do this if you want. It depends on your cover. I'm only adding this because my cover, if I should just leave my text like that, they won't see what's written. So that is why I'm doing this. Now that it is like this, then I bring my text. Use a font. I prefer to use Arial, and I prefer to use font size 12. Depending on the book though, I won't use 12 forever. Okay, let me use 14 here. Within 12 and 14 is good. Justify this. And then make sure that it is in within the margins. So I bring it, you see it's not crossing the margins. Don't forget that. You should never cross the margins. And I'll give this a white. And I can just say about the book right there. I can change this font. Just make it more appealing. In the middle, font size, and give it an 18. Oh, sorry, 20. Okay, so 20 is okay. And I'll position it in the middle. Also, about the book or whatever, every text stays within the margin. Then I have to, let me just underline this. So, this, if you make your book like this, you shouldn't have any problems from Amazon. And then beneath here, you can also add about the author if you want in this space. You can also add about the author in this space, but make sure that all texts stay within the margin. Now, there's one last thing to note here before we download. I'll send this back cover to the back. This template should not be part of what you download, because if you forget to delete this template and download it as your PDF print and go and upload, then this is what Amazon will send you. When they send you this email, just simply know it's because you forgot your template. Remove all templates, text, and guides from your cover. Whenever they send you this, know that it's because of this guy, this template. So you should never leave it. And then there's something else to also note. In this template, you should never have your text where this barcode is. So you might want to mark it out either with a rectangle. For me, sometimes I also prefer to mark it out with a rectangle just in case I don't forget. So you can either mark it out with a rectangle just to keep reminding you that, okay, there's supposed no text should be close to this place. If any text I want to get so close, it should be like this. So text can be here, 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 no problem, but it shouldn't be here. It shouldn't be here. It shouldn't be so close. That simple. So if you mark it out that way, you can change the color just to remind you, and then I'll delete the template. Once I've deleted the template, I've added all the text that I need to add. See that they are within the margins. I see that there is spaces on the edge, as I already did, both for the front and the back cover. Then I delete this. Remember, this is just a guide to remind me where the barcode should be, and no text should be there. So no text should be on it or even touching it. It should be away from it. Something of this distance, as I marked before, is okay. So text can be here, 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 and all this place, like about the author, about the book, whatever it is you want to put there that is relevant to your book, no problem. So once you are done, I'll delete this, and my paperback is ready to download. Now, when you download, do not bleed PDF. Click on download, go to PDF print. All you need to do here is click on PDF print and then choose CMYK. Finish. You don't need to crop marks. You don't need to check anything here. You don't need to check anything here. Don't just forget about those. So once you've selected your PDF print, you've chosen CMYK best for professional printing, you download. This is ready to be published. If you publish this way, if you follow these steps as I outlined and publish your paperback, there is no way Amazon would send you these emails. Beginning from this, there is no way Amazon will send you this email, not this email, not this email. It's not possible. So if they send you an email regarding your cover, just know that it's not about, probably it's because of your cover image. Maybe it's copyrighted or whatever, but it can never be for resize your background or whatever. Now that we've done the paperback, I've already downloaded it, and if I go to my file manager in download under cover, then this is my paperback. Let's open it and we see. So this is my paperback ready to upload on Amazon KDP. Now, to do the hardcover is very simple. You just go here, you simply change this to hardcover. The first step, change this to hardcover. It's still the same black and white, so there's nothing to change. I'll leave it white paper, left to right inches. Then in the interior size is 5.5 by 8.5. Now, for those of us who use 8.5 by 11, if you use 8.5 by 11 to create your Kindle, your manuscript, and you want to do hardcover for it, choose 8.25 by 11 because that is the closest to 8.5. Choose 8.25 by 11. Then if you use 6 by 9, you have your 6 by 9 here to choose. So there's nothing to worry there. The 6 by 9 is here. So just take note of that. So for me, I use 8.5. So 8.5, 5.5 by 8.5 is what I'll choose. And then it's still 100 pages, so I'll calculate the dimensions. Once I calculate these dimensions the same way also as I did, I'll copy this width so that I will not stress my brain, that I know that this is what I have to memorize. 9.917 is my height. Then I will calculate this dimension. I've already calculated, then I'll download this template. The same way also for the hardcover. Once it has downloaded, I'll go to my file manager and also uncompress it. The same procedure just as we did for paperback. So download, this is it, case laminate, this is it. So it will be in zip, uncompress it, and then the folder will be on top also. If you are sorting your file manager by time, new to old, that is my own sorting, so it will easily come on top for you. And this is what I need to use. The same way, the image in it, the PNG version of it, I don't need the PDF. No, what I need is the case laminate. So I'll use that. So I'll go to Canva. What I'm about to do, if you don't have the Canva Pro, you won't be able to do it, and it's called resizing. So I just want to resize this. I'll click on the three dots. I'll go to magic switch. Then I'll go to custom size right here. Custom size. I'll click on custom size. Then I'll impute that width that I copied. It's already in inches, so paste. And then I know that my height, let's double check and be sure. My height is 9.917. So right here, 9.917. I'll just go here and input 9.917. Then I'll click on continue. When I click on continue, it's going to load and show me the preview. You can either choose to resize this design, or you can copy and resize. When you copy and resize, to create a new document with this size, then your paperback will still be preserved. You get? So in case it gives you issues and you want to come and correct, I will advise you use copy and resize, so that when you come, you just adjust. You adjust the paperback you download, you adjust the hardcover you download. You don't need to resize pages anymore. So use copy and resize. So it's going to create a second version of this, and then I'll open it. Once it has loaded, to double check and be sure that it is the one, you click on three dots and you see your size right here. 12.989 by 9.917 for hardcover. So that means this is the hardcover version. Then I'll import my what is it called? I'll import my template again for the hardcover. So upload files, paperback. I'll go to download, sort, modified newest first. So this is the case laminate on top, because that is the last thing I've downloaded. So case laminate, then I'll choose the PNG version. I'll wait for it to load. All right, it has loaded, so I will import it the same way. Also, let me bring it to the front first before I bring to the back. I'm bringing it to the front so that it will be on top every other thing. So I'll move it to the edges. Once it snaps to the left and the right and the top, I'll zoom out, then come down and drag the edges till it hits the bottom and the right. So once it's like that, now I don't need to send this to the back. I just need to increase I just need to make it transparent and see if everything fell in the way I want. You get? If everything fell in the way I want. So as you can see, there is no text where my barcode should be. These are all my tests right here. So if you have tests beneath here, be also sure that you are giving enough space, at least this way, so text can be here still for your hardcover. And also remember that all tests should remain within margin. So within these edges are okay for your text to be. As you can see, my margins right here. You can see my margin showing here. And also for the front cover, you can see we are still safe. So that was why I said, when you want to create your Kindle, let it be far from the edges, from the margins. Let it be a little bit away from the margins. So you can see my tests are still within margins, and these tests are within margins. But to confirm, let me send this to the back. Send the template to the back, and then be also sure that the front cover still has that space. Can we see the space on the top? If you also check, you see the space on the right still preserved. Then we can also see the space on the bottom still preserved. So that is checked. Then we'll also check for the back cover. Is it still reserved? So we see the space on the left, check. We see the space on the bottom, check. And we also see the space on top, check. And your front cover should of course be on top of your back cover. So you can see, if I click on the back cover, you can see this space, which means that my back cover it's up to these edges, but it is behind the front cover. So your front cover should naturally be on top, which is this. So on top, this one should be under. And then once it's under, remember you also delete your templates again. So send to the back. Then this is my template. I'll just to be sure, just increase the transparency. You see that that is my template. Sorry. So you see that is my template, and then you click on delete. Once you've done this, your hardcover is ready to also download the same way you download as PDF, print, and also as CMYK. Finish. So when you're uploading on your Amazon page, you upload with the size that you use to design your manuscript. So the size for your manuscript for your paperback for this mine is 5.5 by 8.5, and for the hardcover also 5.5 by 8.5. For those who use 8.5 by 11, for your paperback you choose 8.5 by 11, but for your hardcover the closest to 8.5 by 11 is 8.25 by 11. So that is what you choose. And if you choose 6 by 9, you also remain safe, 6 by 9 on all places. So that's it about it. If you follow these processes to the latter and do exactly everything I did, I can guarantee you that Amazon would never send you any of these emails. Number one email, remove all template test guides. Number two email, make sure all text on your front cover is at least 0.37 from the cover's edge. They won't send it to you because all your tests are within the margins. Number three email, resize the background or image on your front or back cover. They won't send it to you either. And then number four, they won't send you, there's one last email that I don't have where they will say that your text is close to the barcode. So that was why I said that you should make sure that any text you put should be away from the barcode. It cannot touch it. It can just a little space, give it little space so they can add their barcode. Or if you have your barcode, then you can just add your barcode here. And then when you are publishing on Amazon, you simply click, I have my own barcode, so they will not disturb you. It's that simple. So I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope it will be very helpful to many of us. Thank you, and God bless you.